What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of 101 Sports and Cards. I'm Nathan Holloway, and with me, Jared Dresch.
What happened now?
I don't know.
What's going on?
We're going to start in the NFL. Just to let you guys know, for all you NFL and NBA fans out there, today is going to be primarily baseball and college football episodes.
I'm excited for baseball.
Starting off in the NFL, Sam Darnold and the Vikings have not discussed a new deal. Of course, he's a free agent after the season. Do you want the Vikings, being a Vikings fan, to sign him to an extension?
I'd say let him walk. Or you sign him and you trade him. So we don't know when J.J. McCarthy's going to be back. You know he's going to have problems throwing the football for a little bit because of his injury he had in his arm. It was a shoulder injury, right? It was somewhere in the arm, stolen arm. So he's not going to be 100%. They're playing good right now. The chemistry's good. I'd say, his stock is up a lot right now. So if you do sign him, you can trade him next season and let JJ sit behind him even more. And if, you guys suck again, which is very well possible, you trade him. Or, you let him walk and you take the risk of JJ. I think JJ's going to be good. I like JJ. But can he be better than Sam Darnold right now? I don't know. I mean, Sam Darnold is arguably, he's an MVP conversation. I think he should be. No one expected this Vikings team to be anywhere close to where they're at.
I don't agree with what you said. They should definitely sign him. They have found their franchise quarterback. Sam Darnold's still young. I don't care that they took J.J. McCarthy. I wasn't high on J.J. McCarthy anyway. He wasn't that good at Michigan, basically because they ran the ball all the time. Who cares that they took him 11th overall last year? Sam Darnold has played well enough to be their franchise guy. Now, the only bad thing is that the Vikings do have to pay. Aaron Jones is going to end up being a free agent in a few years. Jordan Addison will be done with his rookie contract next year, I believe. So them two are going to want pretty good extensions, especially Jordan Addison. So if the money is not right, then let him walk. But it's hard to let a guy like that at the most pivotal position walk.
Do you agree he should be an MVP conversation?
No.
I think he should.
I just say no because it's between Lamar, Josh Allen.
I think he should be up there too.
Some bad news for a rookie from the Panthers. Jonathan Brooks, many people were high on him coming out, including the Panthers, who took him in the second round, although they had Chuba. He retore his ACL in his right knee in their game on Sunday, which led to Chuba receiving almost 30 carries because he was the only healthy running back on the team. And I benched him in fantasy. Lost because of it. But this is a tough blow for Jonathan Brooks. This comes 2 weeks after he was taken off the IR from his the ACL surgery that he had last year whenever he suffered it in college. So to tear his ACL in the same knee, not even a year after he did it, is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Especially for the running back position. Now, I hope Jonathan Brooks has a speedy recovery, and he is able to come back, but this could end up being a career.
Wasn't it like a PCL, ACL? It was like the triple whammy. Yeah.
Aiden O'Connell has a bone bruise in his knee. Desmond Ridder is set to start this week for the Raiders. They play the Falcons, so there's honestly a good chance the Raiders get a win because Kirk Cousins blows. And Desmond Ridder revenge game. Y'all ain't ready for that.
New is though Jeff Wilson, so he can move off all of his cards.
Derek Carr is likely to miss the rest of the season after he suffered a fractured hand. For one, he shouldn't have even been in the position to fracture his hand. He decided to run, and to get the first down, decided to just take a huge hit. I believe he also has a concussion. But the Saints were done anyway. They've been done. They've lost their two best quarterbacks now because they lost Taysom Hill last week. Now they lose Derek Carr. So I believe Jake Haener is their starting quarterback because he is now their backup instead of Spencer Rattler. Because Spencer Rattler sucks, just like I said, coming out of high school. Week 14 recap: the Lions defeat the Packers 34-31 on game-winning field goal Thursday night. Jared Goff, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. 2 of them touchdowns went to Tim Patrick, of all people. Jordan Love played well, 206 yards. Touchdown, Josh Jacobs had 3 touchdowns on the ground, and Christian Watson, 114 yards, and he was actually able to hold on to the ball. It's a miracle. Saints held off the Giants 14-11, despite Derek Carr being injured. They blocked the game-winning field goal attempt for the Giants. I don't remember who their kicker is. Frankly, he shouldn't be their kicker anymore because he missed 3 kicks in this game. Derek Carr played very well, 219 yards, touchdown, a pick. Drew Lock, 227 yards, and an interception. He did suffer an injury, so who knows who the Giants are starting at quarterback this weekend. Steelers blew out the Browns 27-14. Russell Wilson, 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jameis Winston had another Jameis Winston type game. 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. The Vikings demolished the Falcons, and Kirk Cousins returned 42-21. Sam Darnold, 347 yards and 5 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 73 yards and a touchdown. Both Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson both went over 100 yards. Addison had 3 touchdowns. Jefferson had 2. Kirk's struggling. 344 yards, 2 interceptions. He has had 8 interceptions and 0 touchdowns over his last 4 games. And they've also lost the division lead to the Bucs, who beat the Raiders. I honestly think it's time.
It is time to go to Penix.
I will say it's partially Kirk Cousins' fault. It's also partially their scheme. Because what does Kirk Cousins love to do more than anything is to run play action. You know how often they're running play action this year? Not enough. And why wouldn't you when you have Bijan, who's been one of the most underrated guys in the league this year? Like, nobody's talking about Bijan Robinson. He's having a really good season. I don't know what the Falcons are doing. The Falcons are just being the Falcons at this point.
Yeah.
The Bucs defeated the Raiders 28-13. Baker, 295, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. The Eagles held off the Panthers 22-16. Man, I wish Xavier Legette would have held on to that ball. Maybe it was because he eats raccoon. And that's a fact.
Huh?
He eats raccoon.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saquon had 124 yards. Bryce Young, 191 yards, touchdown, and a pick. He also played very well on that final drive for them. Too bad his team couldn't come through. You know who did come through? Former Vikings legend Adam Thielen, who had 102 yards. Jags beat the Titans 10-6. What a game. Mac Jones, 220 yards, 2 interceptions. Time for him to get out of the NFL. Will Levis, 168 yards. Tony Pollard had 102 rushing yards. The Dolphins eliminated the Jets from playoff contention for, I don't even know how long their streak is now. In overtime, 32-26. Tua has been great since coming back from his concussion. He had 331 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, 115 yards and a touchdown. I feel like Tyreek's had a very bad season. Aaron Rodgers, 339 yards and a touchdown, which went to Devontae Adams. Seahawks blew out the Cardinals 30-18. Geno had 233 yards and a touchdown. Zach Charbonnet got the start for Kenneth Walker, who was once again hurt. Charbonnet should be their starter anyway. He had 134 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Jackson Smith and Jigba continues to have a great year, 82 yards and a touchdown. And Kyler Murray He's fell off since the beginning of the year. 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. The game of the year happened in Los Angeles this weekend. The Rams defeated the Bills in an absolute thriller, 44-42. Stafford, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. Puka, 162 yards and a touchdown, including multiple just unbelievable catches that nobody should be able to make. Cooper Kupp, 92 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen answered with 342 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. He also had 82 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns, becoming the first player in NFL history to have 3 touchdowns, both passing and rushing in a game. Khalil Shakir led the Bills in receiving with 106 yards and a touchdown. I was honestly impressed with the Rams.
Yeah, that's good.
The Rams are a sneaky team if they're able to. They could easily get back into the division this week because they play the 49ers Thursday night. The 49ers are banged up. And who they're chasing is the Seahawks, and the Seahawks play the Packers So not an easy win for Seattle because Seattle can beat bad teams. Can't beat good ones.
Sometimes you can't do that. Yeah. Depends what Geno you get. You getting like 2013 Geno, or you're gonna get like now Geno? Because you get 2013.
Hey,
Geno,
they've had 2 good weeks in a row. That means they're
due for a bad one. Because 2013 Geno, if you don't know, he should have been drafted.
Yeah. The 49ers will at the Bears 38-13. Brock Purdy 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. Garendo, their rookie running back, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also left the game with an injury. So they've had their top 3 running backs get hurt in back-to-back weeks. George Kittle, 151 yards. Juwan Jennings, 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Caleb Williams, he salvaged 134 yards and 2 touchdowns, both of which went to Rome Odunze. For the Bears, this is not a good look against a beat-up 49ers team and in their first game after firing their head coach.
It's still Bale stuff.
You know how many yards they had in the first half?
Who? The Bales?
Yeah.
Was it like 95?
4.
That's bad.
4 yards.
In the first half.
Yeah. 4 yards. Because of all the sacks they allowed. The Chiefs clinched the division in their win over the Chargers on a very lucky game-winning field goal. 19-17, Mahomes 210 yards, a touchdown. Herbert 213 yards and a touchdown. He would have had more, but he missed a couple drives because he was hurt.
I'm so tired of the Chiefs.
I was praying.
They are not good.
They're not.
The only thing that's keeping them in games is their defense. Their offense
and their
is
luck.
Horrible. Yeah. They must have a rabbit's foot up their asses.
It's going to bite them once the playoffs start.
Because you cannot do this to every other team. And if they end up winning the whole thing again, it's weird. It has to be. I mean, it already is, right? I mean, it has to be. There's no way this team is that. This team sucks. This team is dog poo.
Bengals defeat the Cowboys on Monday night, 27-20, after a block/muff punt, whatever the hell you want to call it. It was blocked. I've never seen a block punt actually end up on the other side of the line of scrimmage, where the Bengals could still recover it for a first down because the Cowboys just forgot how to catch a ball.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, 369 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. His home was also burglarized during the game, which is just another string of
bad luck from Joe Burrow.
It's also a string of NFL stars getting their homes broken into.
Yeah. Which
has been great. Jamar Chase, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cooper Rush, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Rico Dowdle, back-to-back 100-yard games. And C.D. Lamb, 93 yards and a touchdown. I feel like we haven't talked about C.D. Lamb at all this year. I did not watch this game. I wanted to watch the Simpsons broadcast, although the highlights of it look very stupid.
Yeah. I watched the game. Cowboys could have won this game, but they touched the football on the kick. They did not have to touch the ball. All they had to do was let it go out of bounds.
I really expected this game to be more high scoring because both defenses are terrible.
Yeah.
So week 15 begins Thursday, like I said earlier. Rams and 49ers.
Rams.
I'm also going with the Rams. Bucks and Chargers.
I'm going with the Chargers. They look good.
I'm also going with the Chargers. Baker has turned back into Browns Baker, where it's either a touchdown or a pick.
Yeah.
Ravens and Giants.
Ravens by 50.
I'm not even going to give a pick because you just know if you're picking the Giants in this game, there's something wrong with you. And just because I said that, the Giants are going to win this damn game.
Yeah. I mean, it is the Ravens.
But it's also... I don't even know who's starting a quarterback for the Giants. They're going to bring somebody off the streets in New York.
Malik Neighbors.
Who's he going to throw it to himself?
Yeah.
Nobody else on that team can catch a damn pass. Jets and Jaguars.
Jets finally get a win.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jets. Mac Jones sucks. Cowboys and Panthers.
Panthers.
I'm also going with
Panthers all
the Panthers.
Good.
The Panthers are good. They just need to actually close out a game.
Yeah.
Commanders and Saints.
Commanders.
Commanders. Bengals, Titans.
Bengals.
I'm also going to go with the Bengals. Chiefs and Browns.
I'm going with the Browns.
I'm also going with the Browns.
If Jameis doesn't become the pick master, as long as he throws more touchdowns than picks, they should win. But with Jameis, you don't know.
Yeah. Dolphins and Texans, one of the more intriguing matchups of the week.
I'm going with the Dolphins.
I'm also going with the Dolphins. I don't like what the Texans are doing right now. I know they are. I believe they're coming off a bye week. They did not play last week. But the Dolphins have been the hottest team in the NFL
it's warm weather.
Yes, because they're in a dome. And they're also in Houston.
Yeah.
Colts and Broncos.
Broncos.
Anthony Richardson's going to throw so many picks this week.
Yeah. To the Broncos, top 3 defense.
Patriots and Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Patriots.
I'm also going with the Patriots. Damn, we're just agreeing on everything. The best game of the week.
Yes.
How this is not the Sunday night game is beyond me. How the next 2 games aren't the Sunday night game is beyond me. Bills and Lions.
I'm going to go with the Bills.
I'm also going with the Bills. They're going to have revenge after last week's loss. So that instead of, beating up on Stafford, they're going to beat up on Stafford's old team.
This is the 2 best teams in the NFL. This is the fight for who is the top dog in the NFL.
Yeah. Steelers and Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles. The Eagles look really good.
I'm going with the Steelers. If the Steelers can do what the Panthers did last week, I trust Russell Wilson a little bit more than Bryce Young, and I also trust their receivers a little bit more. Although George Pickens will be out, but that doesn't matter because he'll end up having a fit on the sideline rather than actually playing the game anyway. Sunday night game is the Packers and the Seahawks.
Packers.
I'm also going with the Packers. Remember when Packers and Seahawks was a huge rivalry? It was Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I want that back, but Seattle ain't good enough.
Yeah.
There are 2 Monday night games this week, one of which is a solid matchup. The other one, nobody really cares. Solid matchup is the Bears and Vikings, just because it's an in-division game.
Yeah. I'm going to go Vikings.
I'm going with the Bears, because we need the Vikings to lose. And for once, I will be rooting for the Bears. Falcons and Raiders is the other one.
Aiden O'Connell's not being cute. Not QB,
No,
right?
it's Ritter.
Oh my gosh. I guess Falcons.
I'm going with the Raiders. This is a must-win game for the Falcons, because they cannot. If the Bucs beat the Chargers somehow, the Falcons cannot fall 2 games behind them with how Kirk Cousins is playing.
Yeah.
They need Kirk Cousins to have a good game, so he puts on the chain, comes Kirko Chains, and then starts doing the what's the song they were doing? Damn, what the hell is it called? It's actually like a really catchy song. I don't know. Whatever they do in Atlanta. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Moving on to the association. Nikola Jokic dropped a career-high 56 points in their loss to the Wizards last week. The Wizards, of course, with this win, snapped a 16-game losing streak. The very next game, they lost. So the Wizards have 3 wins on the season.
That's horrible.
They're on track. Remember, they set the record for the worst record in franchise history last year. They may surpass it this year. Although Jordan Poole has been great this year, and he's getting no respect because they're on a bad team. Top 2026 prospect A.J. Dybonsa committed to BYU. I could have kept this for college basketball, but instead I'm going to do it for the NBA, because not only did he announce his commitment to BYU on First Take, which he chose BYU. This is the first time BYU has ever had a 5-star prospect come to them. They also paid him over $7 million to be there. This kid is very good. If you've never heard of him, look him up. He's very good. He was the 2022-23 Gatorade Player of the Year in Massachusetts. He also led Team USA to a U16 and U17 FIBA championships, gold medals in back-to-back years. He's very good. He's 6'9", 200 pounds. He's a great scorer, great ball handler, and can guard multiple positions. He chose BYU over Alabama, UNC, and Kansas, which is very interesting.
Did they just give him more money?
Probably. Not only did he commit to BYU on First Take, he also came out and said that his preferred landing spots would be the Orlando Magic or my San Antonio Spurs. Unfortunately for him, that's not going to happen, because neither one of them teams should
be that low.
Have the number 1 pick, because he's already projected to be the number 1 pick. He's going to be the number 1 pick.
We're buying it going Wizards.
He's very, very good. It'd be interesting to see how he plays at BYU. He's going to be freaking He's going to be putting up Jimmer Fredette lines.
Yeah.
I was very surprised to hear that he was the first 5-star to BYU, because I feel like Jimmer Fredette should have been. Chris Paul passes Jason Kidd for the second most assists in NBA history. He basically has the most assists in NBA history, because do we really count John Stockton's? I mean, John Stockton is just so far ahead that nobody's ever going to catch him.
Yeah.
Chris Paul basically has the most. So congratulations to Chris. He dished it to Wemby for a 3 for it. So the fact that adding Chris Paul to this team actually makes me like Chris Paul is sad for me, but great for the team. The Warriors moved Draymond Green to the bench in favor of Jonathan Kuminga. They've also been in many trade rumors surrounding. Shams came out and said that Jimmy Butler is officially on the trade block. That they're entertaining offers for him. I've been writing a ton of articles about it. So has everybody else. The Warriors, according to Brian Windhorst from ESPN today, he said that the Warriors are trying to land another star to pair with Curry and Draymond, and that could end up being either Jimmy Butler or LeBron James. How they would afford either one of them, I don't know. They'd also give up all of their future, but I mean, for another chance at a title, you do what you do. There's no way LeBron gets traded. I'm going to say that right now. Also, if LeBron gets traded, guess who's getting traded with him? Bronny, because Bronny already said that. Brandon Ingram suffered a very serious ankle sprain. He is out indefinitely. This is a huge blow to not only the Pelicans, who they were finally starting to get a little bit healthier, except for Zion, because when is Zion healthy? It's a big loss for them. It's also a big thing for Brandon Ingram, because there were reports, Shams reported that he turned down a contract extension with the Pelicans that would have paid him almost more than $50 million a year. He turned that down. I don't know why he thinks he's worth $50 million, because he's not. A guy who averages like 19 points per game is not worth $50 million. I don't care who you are. He's also not the best defender, not the best passer. He's just a mid player. And that's also because I'm not a big fan of Brandon Ingram, no offense. But he should not be getting paid superstar money. So this is a big blow. The Pelicans are in talks with multiple teams about trading him. This is going to hurt them and what they get back as well. And whoever deals for him will be it's going to be basically a half-a-year rental, because if he's not going to sign an extension with the Pelicans, more than likely he's not going to sign an extension with anybody else. He's going to enter free agency and get an absolutely monstrous bag that he does not deserve.
I just dissing my guy, Brandon Ingram.
I don't mind Brandon. He's just not as good as he thinks he is.
No, but he's a good ball player.
He's okay.
He's a good ball player.
He's solid.
No, he's good.
Solid.
He's the best player on that team.
No, he's not. Yeah. Zion is whenever he's healthy.
And when is that?
And DeJounte is better.
No.
Yes. The Orlando Magic also suffered a huge injury blow. Franz Wagner suffered a torn oblique, the same injury that Paulo Banchero suffered. Paulo has yet to have a timeline for his return, and now Franz, who was looking, he was the only reason the Magic were relevant, with Paulo out, he is now going to be out for a significant amount of time. The good thing for the Magic is that everybody else has been able to step up. Jalen Suggs are up to career high 32 last night, and their loss to the Bucks, they only lost to the Bucks by like 5 points. I have the score right in front of me. Lost to them by 5 points in the NBA Cup. But this is a big blow, and it's very ironic that two players suffered the exact same injury. Yeah. Especially with a big of an injury as it is. So.
Especially in basketball.
Yeah.
Obliques are really you don't ever see obliques get injured in basketball.
The good thing for the Magic is that they have the best defense in the NBA, and this is not going to hurt that, because Franz Wagner isn't the best defender. He's a good defender, and not the best. If they are just able to make shots, their defense should be able to keep them at the top of the East, which also is not that hard to do, because once you get out of the top 5 of the Eastern Conference, the rest of the conference is terrible. Yeah. The NBA Cup began last night, the quarterfinals. The Bucks defeat the Magic 114-109 to advance to the semifinals. Giannis had 37.7 rebounds. Bobby Portis had 22 points and 10 boards. The Thunder defeated the Mavs 118-104 to advance to the semifinals as well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 39 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Tonight, of course, whenever you listen to this, you will know who they will be taking on, because tonight is the Hawks, Knicks, and Warriors, Rockets. Saturday is when the semifinals begin, and next Tuesday is the championship, so we will recap the NBA Cup next week. That is it for the association. Now it is your favorite subject, baseball.
Yeah.
Moving on to the MLB, the biggest news of the week, and no doubt, was Juan Soto signing a 15-year, $765 million deal with the Mets that has incentives to where he can earn over $800 million. Now, before we discuss this, because I have a lot on this subject, the Yankees did offer Soto a 16-year, $760 million deal that he turned down. I want your thoughts first. Was this a good move for the Mets? I was going to say, was this a good move for the Mets and Juan Soto? But, of course, it's a good move for Juan Soto. The dude's making $765 million over the next 15 years.
Yeah.
That's $50 million a year. $51 million a year. And that is more than the whole Washington Nationals roster is making, which is embarrassing. So I'll let you go first.
I think it's not a horrible move for the Mets. It just bolsters the lineup. And what I think is funny is all the Yankees fans think, oh, he's not that good anyways. We didn't want him. Well, he's the only reason you guys made a World Series. I think he's going to help them out. Was it a great move for them money-wise? Probably not. So probably tapped out now, I would say. But
that's not true, because they still want to bring Pete Alonso back. You know, their owner has very, very deep pockets.
Yeah, he's not afraid to spend money.
I mean, he is the richest owner in, I believe, sports.
Yeah. I think it's going to help him. I think it makes him a World Series contender like he was at the end of the year. I think if everything clicks, it would be good. So I think it'll be pretty good for him.
This is the worst thing the Mets could have done. To pay him $765 million is stupid to begin with. No player deserves that. Also, for a player that's going to be a DH in a couple of seasons, because if you've seen Juan Soto play defense, it is horrific to watch. So he's going to end up being the DH. Instead of spending the money to get him, they should have, spent money to upgrade their pitching, because their pitching is terrible. Their bullpen sucks. Edwin Diaz has become a terrible closer after, being the best closer, all because the dude celebrated too hard in the, whatever the hell it's called. What's it called?
WBC.
Yeah. They then added Clay Holmes from the Yankees, and guess what they plan to do to him? Turn him into a starting pitcher, which is not smart. They lost Luis Severino to the A's, which isn't a huge loss. But in the NL East, I'm not worried about hitting as much as pitching, because the NL East is arguably the best division in baseball, because you have the Mets, the Phillies, and the Braves, plus an up-and-coming team with the Nationals, and then whatever the hell Miami's doing. Still don't know what's going on down there. But you should have upgraded pitching, because Kodai Senga is your only good starter. He missed all of last season, basically. He made 3 starts, including 1 in the playoffs where he got rocked. They needed to upgrade pitching, and they need to upgrade other areas, because with their projected lineup right now, even with Pete gone, if you look at the bottom of their order, it is terrible.
Yeah.
The fact that they will still have to be starting Jeff McNeil, they would have to start Brett Beatty at third base. He has not proven anything yet, and I don't like the move at all. And like you said, if it was to hinder their other contract negotiation with other teams, because they don't want to pay other guys as much because you just spent a ton of money on this one guy, then it's going to be a major. We could look back at this being one of the best signings of all time, if the Mets were able to win a couple World Series with him, or it could end up being the worst.
Yeah, that's how you're biased. Yeah. You can even say Trout's, but Trout may be traded. There's rumors.
Juan Soto was not the only guy who got a huge contract. Max Fried got 8 years, $218 million deal with the Yankees. This is the biggest contract ever to a left-handed pitcher. Your thoughts?
Paid way too much, but Max Fried is one of the best pitchers in baseball when he is healthy. That is the big if. But when Max Fried is healthy, he is I would say, a top 5 left-handed pitcher in baseball. He's disgusting. When he is healthy, though, he can put up 25 starts. But you never know. This is just the Yankees' way of coping with, we didn't get Soto, so let's go get a pitcher. Sorry, but one pitcher's not going to help you that much. You need offense. You need to get rid of your second baseman, and Gleyber shit is. Your infield needs a lot of work.
And now your outfield needs work as well.
Yeah, because you moved Judge to right field, which is a good move, I feel like. You're putting Dominguez in center. Good.
Verdugo's a free agent, and there's no way they bring him back after what he did last year.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't have... Personally, I thought your pitching was okay. You had Gil Cole still. You had some okay pitchers. You have an okay bullpen. I don't think you needed one guy for this much. But it's a good signing, but not for that price.
It's a good signing. I wouldn't have paid him what they did just because he has not been able to stay healthy. When he is healthy, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. I believe he ranks top 5 in both ERA and WHIP since he made his debut.
Which was 2018, by the way.
But the pitching was not what needed the most work. Like you said, they have Garrett Cole, they have Luis Gil, who played very well. They still have Nestor Cortez, who, although he had a down year last year, at the end of the season, he was one of their best pitchers. The bullpen needs a little bit of work. They need a closer, for one, because unless they continue to stick with Luke Weaver, who they turned to late last season and into the playoffs, they could have spent more money elsewhere. And for Yankees fans, I know that you're happy with this deal. You're pissed about not with Soto just backing out and basically going to your crosstown rival.
And give you the middle finger.
Yeah.
And you also gave up a lot for Soto.
Yeah.
What'd you get returned? A loss in the World Series?
They could have spent their money elsewhere, and this is probably the only big signing they're going to have. Because the Yankees usually don't spend that much money. They're not like the Mets. We just go out and spend as much money as possible. They do have to remain competitive because guess what? The Orioles and the Blue Jays got better.
Oh, yeah.
Nathan Eovaldi signed back with the Rangers to a 3-year deal. We both expect him to go somewhere else just because he did not opt into his contract. I was surprised that he went back. But, yeah. The Red Sox landed Garrett Crochet from the White Sox today for 4 prospects: Kyle Teal, Braden Montgomery, Chase Medroth, and Wikelman Gonzalez. I'd like to go first. I'm very surprised that the White Sox did not ask for either Marcelo Meyer or Roman Anthony.
They could have got Nick York in that deal.
Nick York's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
For one, they didn't need Kyle Teal. They got Jefferson Caro from the Angels 2 years ago, who I believe is their top prospect right now because they don't have much. They could have used Roman Anthony in center because they're more than likely going to trade away Luis Robert, who your Reds are interested in. And I mean, the White Sox need a lot. Kyle Teal's solid. Braden Montgomery, I know you love him. He's also coming off an injury.
An injury that is really tough to come back from.
Chase Medroth's a solid prospect. He's not a top prospect. And then I've never heard of Gonzalez.
I think he's a pitcher. He's a very, young pitcher.
The thing for the Red Sox is that the Red Sox definitely won this because they didn't have to give up, their
top prospects.
Yeah. Whenever I saw this, and whenever Jeff Passan and Ken Rosenthal reported this, and they had not named the prospects yet, but it was some of their top prospects, I was expecting to at least see Marcelo Meyer or Roman Anthony in this.
Yeah.
But for the White Sox to not get either one of them, I believe is a bad move for them. Although Crochet, you knew he was going to get traded because he didn't want to sign the extension.
And they only have 2 years. You didn't give up that much for 2 years. So, sorry.
The thing for Crochet is that the Red Sox are definitely going to sign him to an extension.
Yes.
Because there's no way they would have traded for him if they did not want to get a deal done.
Yeah.
And Red Sox basically replaced Chris Sale with
another Chris Sale.
Yeah.
Baby Sale.
The only thing about Crochet is how he continues to work with pitching, like his pitch limits.
Yeah.
If they keep him on limits, or if he is actually able to go out and make 20 to 25 starts.
Yeah.
And not, the starts where it's not 3 innings, like the White Sox were doing after last year's trade deadline. At that point, just shut them down.
Yeah. I feel bad for Brady Montgomery. Really do.
I feel bad for everybody who gets traded to the White Sox.
Yeah. When we saw what happened to Miguel Vargas, he was a happy man. Then he went to Chicago. And
hey, he still gets a ring.
That's true. Only one he'll ever get if he stays there. It's a lot they gave up because Kyle Teal, one of the best catching prospects in the minor leagues, and they kind of need a catcher. The Red Sox do.
You also got to think this is not going to be the only move the Red Sox make.
No, the Red Sox will be biased because they know they have to. But Kyle Teal is a pretty big one to give up. Brady Montgomery, he's a what if right now, but his ceiling is the best in the draft that was just there, besides Jack Caglione, because Jack Caglione's ceiling is Shohei Ohtani. But Brady Montgomery, in my opinion, has the second highest ceiling for position player. We all knew how much I love Brady Montgomery. I am a big fan of him. I think he has potential to be one of the best players in this draft, if not the best. He's a big kid, too. We just don't know what's going to happen with him because he had a significant arm injury. I think it was an arm or leg. It was a leg injury. Significant leg injury. Very tough one to come back from for how big he is. But I can see the get rid of him. They don't want to take the risk on that. But Kyle Teal, I thought he was going to be your future catcher. He was looking like he was going to. But really, I think it's a win-win for both teams. They both get solid player. Well, one team gets a solid pitcher. Other team gets some solid prospects. But it's definitely more on the Red Sox favor.
You know who it's not a win for? White Sox fans.
Yeah.
Because after they posted the worst record ever last season, their owner came out and said they wanted to cut even more costs. This is how it starts. Next is going to be Luis Robert. That leaves.
Yeah. White Sox just need to be shut down. I mean, we finished worse than Athletics, the A's. You just need to be shut down. If I was the White Sox fans, I would not show up to a game.
They don't.
That's true. When they do, they bring guns.
Okay. The Blue Jays traded Spencer Horwitz to the Guardians for Andres Gimenez. I don't know what the Guardians are doing.
Great move for the Blue Jays. This is one of the best second basemen in the game of baseball. He is
especially defensively.
Yeah, defensively and offensively. 2 years ago, he was a great offensive player. Last year, he was okay.
I saw everybody in the comments for when this happened saying, like, I get trading away Andres Gimenez just because his offense isn't there. The dude's batted over 250 the last 2 seasons. He's a multi-time Gold Glove winner.
3-time Gold Glove.
He was a key part of why the Guardians got where they were last season. And then for the Guardians to trade him away for Spencer Horwitz, who's like 27 years old. He was a rookie last year. And then they sent Horwitz to the Pirates for Luis Ortiz, Michael Kennedy, and Josh Hartis, who are all pitchers. Yeah. All of which are not very good pitchers. And you know what the Guardians don't need?
Pitching. They have too many. I think it was just a money dump, to be honest.
It is also because Travis Bazan.
Yeah. But good job for the Blue Jays. Gets him a second baseman. That's really good. And I tell you what, the infield, if they all stick together, the infield's looking pretty damn good.
As long as Bo cannot play like he did last year.
He won't. There's no way. Maybe. I don't know.
The Rangers traded for Jake Berger from the Miami Marlins for Akita Vargas and Maximo Acosta. This is
Great trade for the
a
Rangers.
great trade for the Rangers. The thing is, the Rangers are not done because this is yet another third baseman for them, although Jake Burger can play first, which, they don't. Who is their first baseman?
Nathaniel Lowe. No. He's pretty damn good.
Yeah. And they don't really need a third baseman either because of Josh Young.
He's never healthy, though.
That's a fact. So expect the Rangers to make another move to probably trade one of them guys. Or they could use Jake Burger as a DH, because I don't know who their DH is. I think their DH last year was Josh Smith, wasn't it?
Something like that.
And he had a great season. Already talked about Clay Holmes signing with the Mets and them trying to turn him into a starter. I'm going to tell you right now that is not going to work, because if you watch Clay Holmes be the Yankees closer last year, you were on the edge of your seat every time.
Yeah.
Because he was either going to be great or he was going to allow, 10 runs. Yeah. Tyler O'Neill signed with the Orioles. They also signed Gary Sanchez to back up Adley. They actually interviewed their GM last night during the MLB draft lottery, which we will talk about here in a second, to ask him, because they are moving the left field in, and he said that this was his goal when moving the left field in, was to sign 2 power right-handed bats in O'Neill and Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
So I like them getting Tyler O'Neill. He had a great year last year, and that is something they need, is power.
Yeah.
Because after Gunnar, and then they're not keeping Santander.
Yeah.
They after Gunnar, it's kind of, you don't have much.
Kind of drops
power.
off.
Yeah. Willie Adames signed with the Giants, 7 years, $182 million, the largest deal in Giants history. This is also the first deal that new GM Buster Posey made. Did you like this move?
I do, actually. Is it expensive? Yes. But why? Because Willie Adames he plays a lot of games. He don't ever get injured, Wally. He's a great offensive player. He's a great defensive player. And he is a leader. Matt Chapman is not no damn leader.
But think about that side of the infield.
That's
with
a
him
gold.
and Chapman.
Nothing's getting through that hole. Because they are both great defenders. Adames is a good hitter. Matt Chapman can be a good hitter. It's a good signing. So good job, Buster Posey.
I think this is going to be the best signing from this offseason, to be honest. Now, will the Giants end up doing anything with it? Probably not, because they have to, have the Dodgers and the Padres in their division.
They got a lot of rebuilding.
But Willie Adames is a great player. I still don't understand why the Brewers were so just wanted to basically get rid of him. I don't even think they offered him a contract.
Yeah.
This is a great move for the Giants as they continue to rebuild. Shane Bieber returned to the Guardians on a 1-year deal. Who cares? He'll end up getting hurt 2 games into the season. Luis Severino signed a 3-year, $67 million deal with the A's, largest signing in A's history. This is a big blow to the city of Oakland, because the A's basically gave them the big middle finger.
Yeah.
And said, now that we're not in this town anymore, we're actually going to spend money.
And it's been on the long damn guy.
Yeah. So the Cardinals are shopping Nolan Arenado. He did say he would play first base if that helped make a deal. I don't know why somebody would want him to play first base, because he's still a Gold Glove caliber player.
Just can't
at
hit.
Third. Yeah. So he's going to be traded. Yeah. The Astros have also been taking calls for Kyle Tucker. He is a free agent next year, and with the Astros don't really want to spend money, as you've seen with Alex Bregman this offseason. They're going to have to choose between Kyle Tucker and Framber Valdez, and as of right now, they're choosing Framber rather than Kyle Tucker. So, which I think is a wrong move.
Yeah.
Kyle Tucker is their best player when he's healthy. But yeah, we could see Kyle Tucker on a new team. Every team should be calling up the Astros.
Yeah.
About. Rogi Sasaki was officially posted. He cannot sign until January 15th?
Something like that.
just around that. So, can't wait till January 16th come around and the news breaks that he signs with the Dodgers. My Washington Nationals won the draft lottery after having the 6th best odds. The Angels got 2nd, the Mariners 3rd, Rockies 4th, and Cardinals 5th.
We got absolutely robbed. We have the 9th pick.
You know who got robbed? Although I do like the way they do the draft lottery where you can't have, after you get 2 consecutive top 10 picks, you can't get it. The White Sox got robbed because they have the top 10. They have the 10th pick. And they need us. They should have just had a little waiver and just been like,
it's the White Sox.
The White Sox can have just give them more picks than everybody else.
Yeah.
Because they'll still screw it up. Yeah. Of course, the number 1 prospect is Ethan Holiday, Jackson Holiday's brother, who is the better Holiday brother. And I can't wait to see him in a Nationals jersey. Also, that's a great rivalry between the Nationals and the Orioles. A little brotherly rivalry. And we're the better team. Not now.
Not ever.
We will be. Moving on to also the Rule 5 draft happened today. There were some names that I knew that got picked. There were also multiple names that I did. So I believe the Reds got the top guy. Athletics prospects. I don't remember what his name was. It was one of the very few guys I'd heard of. Moving on to college football, UNC is expected to hire Bill Belichick as its next head coach. So Bill is officially taking his NFL experience to Chapel Hill, or as you can now call it, Chapel Bill.
Still gonna suck.
The thing is that Bill Belichick said that he was interviewed by Pat McAfee earlier this week on the Pat McAfee show as this deal was still taking place. He said that he wants to basically build a program at UNC that gets you prepared for the NFL. And if I'm a player, that is exactly where I want to go, because not only is UNC they've turned into a solid football school, but you have the greatest coach in NFL history running it. Safe to say you're going to get a lot of NFL experience.
Yeah.
Conference championship games recap. Number 10 Boise State defeated number 20 UNLV 21-7. 24 Army blew out Tulane 35-14. Number 15 Arizona State absolutely dominated number 16 Iowa State 45-19. Number 5 Georgia rallied to defeat number 2 Texas 22-19 in overtime after losing Carson Beck to an injury. I'll talk about that in a second. Number 1 Oregon took down number 3 Penn State 45-37. And number 17 Clemson hit a game-winning 56-yard field goal to beat SMU 34-31 after SMU came back from being down 17 in the fourth quarter. The college football playoff is officially underway in 2 weeks. Since this episode is running very long, we will be giving our predictions next week. Now, you already know our predictions if you followed the Instagram, because I've already put it on there. But next week, we will give our predictions and tell you why these teams are going to win. The only game this week is, of course, the Army-Navy game. Navy is ranked 22nd. Who wins?
Navy.
I'm also going with Navy. The big news that came out of this week is Carson Beck injured his UCL in his right elbow. He is expected to miss their game, which they have a first-round bye, so they will not play until the Sugar Bowl. He is expected to miss that game, where they will play either Indiana or Notre Dame. There is a very good possibility. UCL injuries usually don't heal that quickly, that he is not able to play at all. The good thing is that Gunnar Stockton came in and played very well.
Yeah.
He was really he played much better than Carson Beck did against Texas, and one of the main reasons they won. So if I'm Georgia, I'm not too worried, because Gunnar Stockton was one of the top recruits, and he's one of the best Georgia high school football players of this generation. Going on to college basketball, just because this is so long, I'm not going through all the upsets. I'm just going to tell you the new rankings of the best games this week, because at this point, I'm just not going to do upsets anymore, because I'm tired of running through like 50 different upsets every week. So the new rankings. Number 1 is now Tennessee. thanks to Auburn losing last week to Duke. Auburn remained second, although they lost. Number 3 is Iowa State. They moved up 3 spots. Duke up 5 spots to 4. Kentucky is 5. Marquette 6. Alabama up 3 spots to 7. Gonzaga is 8. Florida up 4 spots to 9. Kansas fell 9 spots to 10 after they lost to both Mizzou, which is embarrassing, and who's the other team that lost? And Creighton, which happened last year as well, if you remember. Oklahoma's 13. They moved up 8 spots. Michigan moved up 12 spots to 14. Clemson moved up 10 spots to 16. Wisconsin dropped 9 spots to 20. And Cincinnati dropped down 8 spots to 22. Wisconsin will not be ranked after this week because they lost to Illinois. In all honesty, they should have been ranked last week. Don't know how we were still ranked, but pretty disappointed with Wisconsin. You know what I'm not disappointed in? Wisconsin's football team, because not only did Tyler Van Dyke, who I didn't even know they gave an extra year to, it was going to be like his 8th year of college football, he entered the transfer portal. Braden Locke entered the transfer portal. So thank you, Braden Locke, for absolutely freaking nothing. And thank you for leaving. Because you are one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play Division I football. Dude is goated in college football video game, though. You ever played as Wisconsin? You bench Tyler Van Dyke because that boy can't move. Braden Locke's up. So I respect you for helping me win a natty in the video game. Too bad you weren't able to even finish 500 at Wisconsin this year. The best games this week for college basketball. Thursday is number 3 Iowa State versus Iowa, a little in-state rivalry. Number 17 Texas A&M versus number 11 Purdue is on Saturday. Also Saturday, number 1 Tennessee versus Illinois. Number 6 Marquette versus Dayton is also Saturday. Also, all these games are basically Saturday. Number 8 Gonzaga and number 18 UConn and Creighton and number 7 Alabama are also on Saturday. Next Tuesday, a big game against UNC, unranked UNC, and number 9 Florida. On other sports, Scotty Scheffler won the Hero World Challenge. This is his 9th win in the calendar year. He has the same amount of wins this year as the Washington Wizards do.
Oh, God. That's horrible. And he's played whole year.
Also, Lando Norris won at Abu Dhabi. This is the end of the F1 season. Thankfully, with his win, he clinched the Constructors' title for McLaren.
Good job, Lando. You can finish that. You couldn't finish the main job.
Of course, Max Verstappen won the championship, if you didn't know that, like 2 months ago. It's really... Hey, next season's championship pick?
Esteban Ocon. I'm kidding. Gosh. No, it's going to be Oscar Piastri. I don't want to go with Max. He's going to. We all know it. He's going to tie for the most championships ever. Because he's, 1 behind now? Or 2 behind?
I'm not going to say... I wasn't going to say Max.
Lewis going to Florida!
If I was going to say Lando.
No, he wasn't. He was going to go freaking Lewis Hamilton.
I am going with Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari because he's going to have the top ride in it because they're going to say, Charles, screw you. He's going to have the top ride, and Ferrari made huge improvements this year.
Yeah, well, I'm going with Oscar Piastri because he is very good.
Lando's better. Also, Red Bull met with Sergio Perez, and it is likely that he is not going to return next year. So Red Bull is finally making a good decision to get rid of his bum ass.
Who's going to take over that ride?
Anybody can be better than Sergio
Liam Lawson.
Perez.
He's good.
Thanks.
Or it's going to be Ocon. Ocon's good. He's also the first F1 guy in history to not cause any damage on his car. That is impressive. That's impressive.
In all honesty, the Red Bull is more than likely going to be Yuki Tsunoda because
he's actually good.
He was testing with them over the weekend.
He's funny too. You ever watch his?
Yes.
He's hilarious.
Thanks.
And he's good.
Me too.
Just too bad he's on a horrible team.
Put me in the car. You wouldn't want me in the car because Max wouldn't race me the way he would other people because I'd take his ass out. Because he's a certified dick.
Yeah. Good point.
That's all I have. Do you have anything else?
baseball's getting started.
Thank you guys for listening. Next week we will recap the weekend of the NFL. Give our predictions for the college football playoff. Basically not give our predictions because you already know our predictions if you follow the Instagram. If you don't, what the hell are you doing?
What the hell, man? Old woman. Whatever you are. What the hell? Follow the damn Instagram! This man puts in a lot of work.
I do. In time I don't have.
Yeah.
As you do nothing.
I don't know how to do any of it.
And
let's be honest. The only thing I know really I can... The only thing
I hope you weren't going to say that you know how to talk.
I don't. Clearly. The only thing I'd be helpful for is the baseball stuff.
Thanks.
That's it.
That's the other thing we will be talking about next week because since the winter meetings are upon us, there will be more baseball news. Thank you guys for listening. Come back here next week. Peace.